In this lesson, we're going to be talking about format string attacks. First of all, let's talk about what a format string actually is. So we're going to take a look at a C program here. So I've got this C program, and this is actually the same program that we used for the buffer overflow, except that it actually has a format string vulnerability in it as well. Let's jump down here to this location where we've got the scanf. Now, scanf is an input function, but it still has a format string. And the format string here says expect a string. And the variable that we hand into scanf is actually a character array. So we're handing the character array into scanf, and scanf is going to get an array of characters and it's going to dump it into that variable. Now, with printf, what I could do is I could, for example, do something like this. The value that you input is, and here I'm going to say you're going to pass a string into printf as a parameter. In addition to the string here, we're actually going to hand in another parameter, and that's going to be this character array. I could do that, and that's another example of a format string. Now, if I were to just do something like this, then all I'm doing is I'm handing in the character array as a parameter, and there's no actual format string there. Now, what were to happen if I were to actually hand in a format string, and we're just going to compile this here, and we're going to output this into something called buff. I'm going to run buff now. And now what I could do is something like this. I'm passing in the format string at this point. What it's spitting out to me now is basically what I handed in. Let's say I wasn't trying to do a string. Let's say I wanted to do something like a hex number. Now I actually get some hex data back. What this actually is data that's on the stack. In order to do something useful with this, I really need to be able to know where I am in the program and how I might be able to manipulate the data that's on the stack. And I could do that doing something like using a %n. So I could do a %x and a %n, and the %n is actually giving me a segmentation fault. The %n helps you to actually put some data up onto the stack. I actually got a segmentation fault because presumably I was trying to write to a location that my program didn't actually have access to. Now, in order to figure out where you are, you either need a program that's going to tell you, which is really unlikely, or you really need to be able to use a debugger. And we're going to talk about debugging coming up next.